Welcome to the Science of Hockey, the podcast where we break down the science behind ice hockey. I'm the analyst, your host, and every week we explore the data, research, and evidence that shape how we play, train, and understand the game of hockey. From biomechanics to performance psychology, we take you beyond the rink and into the research lab, giving you insights that go beyond hearsay and into what really makes the difference on the ice. Whether you're a player, a coach, a parent, or just someone passionate about the sport, we're here to bring you scientifically backed information in a language that's friendly and easy to understand. So grab your skates and let's dive into the science of hockey. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Science of Hockey. I'm the analyst, and today we're talking about an interesting approach to player recovery during games, active recovery on the bench. We'll be diving into an article titled Influence of Active Recovery on Cardiovascular Function During Ice Hockey. In this episode, we'll explore how simple actions like standing or pacing during breaks can significantly impact cardiovascular function, helping players maintain better blood flow and improve recovery between shifts. We'll discuss the implications for both performance and safety, especially in a high-intensity sport like ice hockey, where every second counts. Whether you're a coach, player, or just curious about how to maximize in-game recovery, this episode is packed with insights that could make a real difference. So grab your skates and let's get into it.
All right, so are you ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Today we're looking at active recovery in hockey.
Okay.
Specifically, how it can impact your heart and how it impacts your game.
I like it.
So we've got a fascinating research article to unpack here
Okay.
from 2015.
All right.
It's called Influence of Active Recovery on Cardiovascular Function During Ice Hockey.
Interesting.
And this was published in Sports Medicine Open.
Okay.
Now, the big question that we're trying to answer today is, does simply standing or pacing around between shifts instead of just plopping yourself down on the bench, does that actually make a difference?
Interesting question, for sure.
Yeah, and this study did more than just talk about it.
Oh.
They actually put it to the test.
Okay. How'd they do that?
Well, they had 15 young hockey players, all suited up in full gear.
Nice.
Skate really hard for 60 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And they pushed these guys to about 85% of their max heart rate.
Wow. So really mimicking like a game situation.
Exactly. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So they're really putting these guys through the ringer.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Well, so then they had them do two different types of recovery.
Okay.
One they called passive recovery, where the players just sat on the bench.
Got it.
And then the other was active recovery, where they stood up and paced around.
Interesting.
And to keep things fair, each player experienced both conditions, but in a random order.
Oh, that's smart. So they were their own control group.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Yep.
What'd they find?
Well, the results were pretty compelling.
Okay.
Active recovery actually kept the players' cardiac output higher for a longer period after those intense bursts of skating.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're talking about a difference of around 2.5 liters of blood per minute.
Wow. Okay, so you're saying they just standing up instead of sitting down?
It can have a measurable impact,
can actually impact how much blood your heart is pumping.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you say cardiac output.
Right.
What exactly is that, and why should I care?
Well, cardiac output is essentially the amount of blood your heart pumps out every minute.
Okay.
And keeping that number up even during recovery is crucial for both performance and heart health.
So more blood pumping means better delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the muscles.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yep. And it also helps to clear out the metabolic byproducts, those waste products that your muscles make when you exercise hard.
Got it.
It's like a refresh button for your body.
Very cool. The study also mentioned something called stroke volume.
Right.
What's that all about?
Yeah. So stroke volume is simply the amount of blood your heart pumps with each beat.
Okay.
Now, while the study didn't find like a statistically significant increase in stroke volume during active recovery, there was a noticeable trend toward higher levels.
Which is still physiologically relevant.
Interesting.
You know, it's one of those nuanced details that often gets overlooked.
So even though it wasn't a huge jump, it still suggests that active recovery could be beneficial for heart function.
Exactly.
This is getting really interesting.
Yeah.
So they actually linked those increases in heart rate and stroke volume to better circulation.
That's right. Better circulation means better delivery of oxygen to the muscles and more efficient removal of those metabolic byproducts that we talked about.
Oh, okay.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
So what does all this mean for hockey players out on the ice?
Well, for competitive players, especially those relying on repeated bursts of speed, this could be a game changer. Think about those crucial moments when you need to be at your best shift after shift.
Absolutely. So this could really give competitive players an edge.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the pros.
This research could be especially beneficial for, older recreational players.
Right.
Especially those who might have some underlying cardiovascular risk factors.
Got it.
Imagine those weekend warriors hitting the ice.
Yeah.
Active recovery could help maintain better blood flow to their hearts, potentially reducing the risk of complications during or after an intense game.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Just standing up could make a difference for heart health.
Exactly.
It really highlights how important recovery is, no matter what your age is or skill level.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that this study was done in a controlled environment, mimicking real game situations as closely as possible.
Got it.
The researchers concluded that active recovery is a practical, low-risk, high-reward strategy that's easy to implement during actual hockey games.
So it's not just theory.
Right.
It works in the real world.
Yeah.
That's really good to know. But this wouldn't be a true deep dive if we didn't acknowledge some of the limitations.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crucial to apply critical thinking to any research.
Right.
In this case, the study focused on young, healthy male hockey players. While the findings are promising, we need more research to see if these benefits extend to other groups, like female players or older athletes or those with different fitness levels.
Got it.
Context matters.
That's a great point. We always want to look at the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
And consider who the research applies to.
Yeah.
This does open up a whole new avenue for exploring active recovery strategies, not just in hockey, but in other sports and activities too.
Exactly. Think about other intermittent high-intensity sports like basketball or soccer or even interval training.
Right.
Could active recovery play a similar role in boosting performance and cardiovascular health?
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
This study looked at standing and pacing.
Right.
What about other types of active recovery?
Yeah.
Like a light jog or some cycling. Could those be even more beneficial?
That's a fantastic question.
Something for our listeners to explore.
Yeah, it highlights how much we still have to learn about optimizing recovery strategies. Imagine if we could pinpoint the most effective type of active recovery for different sports, different athlete profiles, different fitness levels. It's a whole new frontier of sports science.
This deep dive has definitely sparked my curiosity.
I'm glad.
It's all about challenging assumptions and encouraging everyone to keep asking questions and keep exploring these fascinating topics.
Absolutely. Knowledge is most valuable when we understand it.
Right.
Apply it and use it to make informed decisions. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting out, incorporating active recovery strategies could make a real difference.
So next time you're watching a hockey game, pay attention to what the players are doing on the bench.
Exactly.
Are they just sitting there catching their breath, or are they actively pacing and stretching and keeping those muscles moving?
Yeah, you might be surprised by what you see.
You might be surprised.
And who knows, maybe we'll see a shift in the culture of hockey and other sports where active recovery becomes the norm rather than the exception.
Right.
After all, it's a simple, practical strategy with the potential to benefit athletes of all levels.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
We've explored the science behind active recovery, its impact on cardiovascular function, and its practical applications.
Yeah.
Not just in hockey,
Exactly.
but in a wide range of activities.
That's right.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
But here's the big question.
Okay.
What does all this mean for you?
That's right.
Whether you're a hardcore athlete or just someone trying to stay active, what can you take away from all of this?
Well, the key takeaway here is that recovery is just as important as the workout itself.
Okay.
And this study shows that active recovery isn't some complicated concept. It's a practical tool you can use to improve both your performance and your heart health.
We're not talking about running a marathon between periods, are we?
No, not at all.
Right.
We're talking about simple things like standing up instead of sitting down, walking around, keeping your blood flowing.
Right.
These small changes can have a surprisingly big impact.
It's like a little health and fitness hack.
Exactly.
And it's not just limited to hockey either.
Right.
We talked about other sports, but think about any activity where you're pushing yourself for short bursts followed by a break.
Exactly, like interval training or sprinting to catch the bus, carrying groceries up the stairs instead of collapsing afterwards. Try incorporating some active recovery, even for just a few minutes.
Okay.
You might be amazed at how much better you feel.
So, to wrap things up, today we explored the science behind active recovery, how it impacts your heart, and how you can apply it to a variety of activities.
Exactly. And as always, we encourage you to keep learning and exploring. Don't take our word for it. Dive into the research, try different active recovery strategies, and discover what works best for you.
That's it for this deep dive into active recovery.
Thanks for joining us.
We hope you've learned something new and feel inspired to take charge of your own recovery.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep learning. Keep questioning.
Keep pushing your boundaries.
And keep pushing your boundaries.
I like it.
Thanks for tuning in to the Science of Hockey. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share it with your friends, teammates, or anyone who loves hockey as much as you do. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment to let us know what you liked, what you'd like to hear next, or any questions you have. Your feedback helps us make the show even better. Until next time, keep your skates sharp, your mind open, and keep chasing the science behind the game.